had an encounter with the devil?
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that. Can you like...
They booked me for a photo shoot. This is what made me start getting into God right before I got locked up again.
Yeah.
This is how I knew God was talking to me, though. I was straddling the fence still on belief. This is why I was telling you I didn't know what to believe because I was getting into all the spirituality. I ain't know what to believe, and God sent me a real encounter, so I went up. I got booked for a photo shoot. They took me all the way up this mountain. I was on top of the mountain. We finished the photo shoot. They have OD cars. They got a 3-seater McLaren. They got a Ferrari. And I'm asking them, like, how y'all get all this money? How y'all do this? They like, we do demonic rituals. I'm laughing. Like, no, you don't, bro. I'm like, how you get this money? Don't put me on. I'm trying to get like y'all. Like, nah, we do demonic rituals. I say, so what type of demonic ritual? He say, the Illuminati never talked to you. I'm laughing. I'm still laughing at him. Like, bro, you playing a game. Like, why y'all playing with me? Stop playing. Like, how y'all getting this money? He like, bro, no, for real. Leonardo DiCaprio do all the initiation. I'm like, what? I'm like, who is that? What is you talking about, gang? He was like, he giving me a list of people who all did it. I'm gonna keep it PG-13. He was basically saying, either you let them peg you or you do oral and you'll get whatever you want. Tell them what you want. If you want to be the next big actress, next big whoever, I can take you to somebody. And all you gotta let them do is just do what they want to do to you, just for a night. Do some gay, basically do some gay. That's what he was telling me. I'm like, hell no, you playing, man. You playing. So I'm still not trying to believe this. And he like, this when they get to laughing, they like, oh, we need to take him to the booty club. Stop playing with me, bro. He like, bro, I can make it happen. Now, while they doing all this, I'm trying to call my Uber. We on top of the mountain, though.
Ooh, Shalom. Let us all praise due unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKakodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, peace and blessings to the elect. And this is, I believe this guy's a guy who's into music, but he has he so-called turned his life to, Jesus, whatever, which we know that the name, the true name of the Lord is Yahweh Shai in Hebrew, but I guess this guy had like some spiritual encounter. Most High opened up his eyes because this guy was deep, into the music and probably was involved in certain occult rituals and stuff. But now he's speaking out, what goes on in Hollywood, because that's what's going on. That's why here in Toronto, all these guys, in across America and stuff, and Jake, all these Jake wants to become a rapper, and go to Hollywood, but they have to do all kind of rituals, and that's how they end up getting their nice car. They get expensive jewelry, and they have to do all kind of rituals, to because Jake doesn't want to suffer. Like these guys don't want to suffer. They want it, like get rich or die trying. Like that movie with 50 Cent, like get rich or die trying. That's what Jake wants to do. Nobody wants to work a job. Everybody wants this fast money and this lifestyle, but they have to, compromise themselves, man. So I can get you the scripture. This is Matthew 4:1. Then Yahushua led up of the spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward hungered, right? So the Lord was on a, he's on a dry fast, no water, no food for 40 days. So he was on a heavy he was on a heavy fast, And when the tempter came to him, he said, "If thou be the son of the Yahweh, command that these stones be made bread." And Satan, saw him, saw the Lord, right, in a vulnerable state, because he was a hungered, right. After the 40 days, he was he was a hunger, because to do a fast, you know even to fast for a day is no food, no water, like what we do during the Day of Atonement. Like that's a serious fast. So the Lord was on a fast for 40 days, man. So Satan saw that he was on a heavy fast, spiritual fast, and Satan tried to tempt him. And the tempter came to him and said, "If thou be the son of Yahweh, command that these stones be made bread." But he answered and said, "If it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yahweh." Right. So the Lord, right, he said that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word. So the word is the scriptures, the commandments, and that's what we like like Satan was trying to like Satan was trying to tempt him, right? But the Lord, he kept it, very, he told Satan, basically, but said, "But by every word that proceeded out of the mouth." So he said, he telling Satan, that I'm following the Most High. I'm not following. I'm not gonna be tempted. I'm not gonna be tempted by the tempter, because that's what Satan was doing. Then the devil came. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and set him at the pinnacle of the temple. And he said, "If thou be the Son of Yahweh, cast these stones, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge over thee, and their hands, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone." So Satan was trying to tempt him, but the Lord, he checked him. Yahweh said unto him, "It is written, again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy power." Again, the devil taking him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showed him all the kingdom of the world and the glory of them. And he said unto him, "All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me." And that's what that Jake was going into. That the guys like that guy, the so-called guerrilla Hebrew Alazar. He's into getting pegged. And you don't know what kind of rituals what he has done, because he's hanging around with 22 unknown Satanists, right? And you're going on their platform, right? And basically, that's what these guys be doing. All these entertainers, these rappers, everybody in the industry. And if you want to, if you want to be somebody in this world, right, you got to do certain rituals, right? And you have to compromise your whole integrity. So let's play the rest of this. It's a good thing. It's like little John speaks on his testimony on the encounter with the devil. So let's play a little. Get some scriptures.
Oh, this I'm trying to call my Uber. We on top of the mountain though. I don't got no service. Alright, I see which one he working with me. They take off. The people who book me, they take off. Like I tell them, I'm like, alright, y'all can take me to y'all Korean barbecue. I'm telling them this, cause they was telling me, they was like, when I start calling my Uber, my flight was finna take off. They was like, "Man, your flight finna take off anyway. Let us just get you a hotel and you can come get some food at our Korean barbecue." I'm like, at first I was like, "No," but then I ain't had no service to get downstairs. Get down the hill.
Right.
So I'm telling them, take me down to the bottom of the mountain. When I'm not telling them this, but in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna let them take me to the Korean barbecue. Then when we get down there, I'm gonna just call me an Uber and go. So I tell them, I'm like, take me down to the Korean barbecue. They're like, okay, smooth, good, okay, boom. The people who booked me left. After they leave, I'm in the car with the other dude that they called up to have a photo shoot with me or take pictures, because he come up and he like to take pictures with celebrities to make him look like he was rich or famous. I get in the car with him in the 3-seater McLaren. This man, as we going down, see, on the way up, we go all the way up, like in the swivel, like all the way around the mountain.
Yeah.
On the way down, we take a right. So he not going the same way that we came up. I'm like, what the hell? So then that's what I try. I'm like, okay. I'm like, take me to go get some McDonald's, gang. I want to go get some McDonald's. He said, we not going to take you to get no McDonald's. We spent all this money to get you up here. This face change, gang. In front of me. You see Venom? Like,
Yeah, like
Spider-Man?
Yeah, from Spider-Man.
Kind of like that. It wasn't like OD, like long, like veins, OD long got his face. It was probably about this wide. Like, face changed. I'm like, what the? Like, it's probably about like right here. Like, all I can say, bro, it was like, kind of like the Sandman.
See that? So, that guy was, got tempted by a photographer, and then this guy, I guess that the little Tony, whatever his name is, he was tempted. He was being tempted, by a photographer, and basically, he bounced, basically, he had an encounter, but he left, So let's continue with this.
Yeah, it's like that. It threw me all the way off. So I'm confused now. I'm like, okay. I didn't know how to get out the car. I would have been got out the car. We in the 3-seater McLaren, so it's like a button you gotta push to get up out of there.
Gotcha.
So he backing in. Now he backing into somebody driveway. He smack a mailbox. So now he hit the button and he get up out of there. He hit the button and get up out of there. I see the button. I'm getting up out of there too. I hit the button. Guess what? It's a mailman come out of nowhere. I run up to him. I'm like, hey, bro, let me get in the back of your truck. He looking at me like, no. I look at him. I'm like, bro, just let me get in the back of your truck, bro. Please, just take me down. Take me down to the bottom. Please, just take me down to the bottom. It was God. He took me down to the bottom. Like, if I were him, I wouldn't have took me down to the bottom. Some random trying to get in the back of my truck. Yeah. He took me down to the bottom, and I called an Uber, and I just left. The whole thing was just, like, I felt it in my spirit as soon as I got up to the top of that mountain.
See, Jake has that seal. Sorry, Jake has the zeal, man. Because they know that, Jake has that spirit, man. Of try to like Jake has a conscience, like a conscience, man. So that guy, the Most High, made him escape, from that situation, and he's now he's into the word. This guy, so that's and that's what Job did too. Job was like when you read Job 1, let's get that. Just going in the spirit. It says, there was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared Yahweh and eschewed evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters, and his substance also that was 7,000 sheep, so he was very affluent, man, and 3,000 camels, and so like Job was, like he'd be like a billionaire today in today's world, a multi-millionaire billionaire, and 400 yoke of oxen, and 500 she asses, and a very good household. So he had servants, he had different industry, different jobs, so that the man was greatest of of all the men of the east. Right, so he was very affluent, man. And the sons went and feasted in their houses, everyone, everyone everyone his day, and sent and called for their three sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of the feasting were gone about, the Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offering according to the number of their souls. Right. So Job, Job was, he was, into the law, right? Because you know, because that was even before, during that's even before like Exodus and stuff. That was, very a very a great time period. So Job was very affluent, right? For Job said, if it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed Yahweh in their heart, thus did Job did continue. So Job was always into the, like he was he was into the Lord, right? Now there was a day when the sons of Yahweh came to present themselves before the Lord. So the angels, right? No, the sons of the power of God, which would the God in the Hebrew means Elohim, right? Was So this was the angels present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. So Satan is also an angel, a judge, right? Because the Most High, he has the angels on the right, then he has the angels on the left, and the Lord is a power. He's a power of balance. So and the Most High Yahweh, he controls the good and the evil, right? Everything what's going on in this earth is controlled by the Lord, because he controls the good and evil. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan also answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Right? So Satan is always, and the angels, but Satan, in particular, he's going out throughout the earth, and he's tempting people, man. Just like that young man, you know, um, you know, the Most High, remember, it says Ephesians 6, it says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against spiritual wickedness in high places, right? So there's, like this world, like this whole world is based on witchcraft. The dollar bill, the American dollar bill, with the all-seeing-eye, the pyramid. All right, this whole fiat currency, what Esau has set up, right? It's all magic, man. Watch that movie They Live, right? Like we have the ISOV. When you put on the glasses, like you're looking and you're seeing all the wickedness, all the adultery, the blood, the rituals, and when you take it off, everything's normal. Everything looks, So we have the eyes, the ISOV, man. And the Lord said unto his seed, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feared Yahweh and eschewed evil? And Satan answered the Lord and said, doth Job fear Yahweh for naught? Hast not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou thou hast blessed the works of his hands, and his substance in the increase of the land. But put forth thy hand now, and thou all that and sorry, but put forth thy hand now, and and touch all that he have, and he will curse thee to thy face. Right? So that's why Satan was trying to, he was speaking with the Lord, which is like Yahweh. The Lord said unto him, Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth his hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. Right? So the Lord he put a hedge about Job. He put a hedge about him, right? But the Satan, you know, he tempted Job, right? He lost his sons. Right? You could read this whole story, Job 1, Job 2. Right, very good book. And Job was, he was being persecuted. He lost his sons, his daughters. Right, he got plagued with boils. He was catching hell. Right? Because like this whole society is based on witchcraft, man, and magic. Right? So it's real, man. Let's play the rest.
And I've never seen no motion like that. Like, where I'm from, like, 100,000, that's smooth. Like, we hunt, that's hood rich. You get your 100,000, you up. 100,000, get you a nice car, a little spot, you good. But these folk having real money.
So you knew, like, based on their stats, like, there was something wrong.
It wasn't even that. It was the fact of how, when I got up there, first of all, that whole mountain just felt funny. Then, when it was time for me to go, it started kicking in. When I was trying to get my Uber, and I seen that they had me at the top of the mountain, no service, no nothing. And they came up here. Out of everybody, they came up to the one spot. I'm like, man, hell no.
You knew something was off.
Yeah.
It's crazy because you even then, like you knew from that moment, like, man, I can't be doing that. Even before you were fully submitted.
Yeah, man. So this shit's real, man. I was thinking of a scripture, but I forgot it now. But that's what's going on, man. Just like what scripture was it? The same thing happened with the Lord, right? With Ashley Yahushai. Abraham. But basically, the Lord, he used Abraham because Abraham was about to be a sacrifice, and the Lord stopped. He sent the angel to stop it, man. Right, and we know that Isaac was Yahushai. Put a lamb. Sorry. Let's get it. So Genesis 22:1, and it came to pass after these things that Yahweh did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here am I. And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for burnt offering upon one of the mountain which I will tell thee. Right? So the Lord tempted Abraham, man. Right? Because the Lord controls the good and the evil. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass, and took two of the young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood of the burnt offering, and rose up and went unto the place of which Yahweh had told him. Then one of the third day Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto the young man, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder, and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it upon Isaac his son, and took the fire in the hand and the knife, and they went both of them together. Right, so the Abraham was about to sacrifice his son, and Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. He said, Here am I, my son. And he said, Behold, the fire and wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? So Isaac, he didn't know he was about to be the sacrifice. And Abraham said, My son, go, God, and my son, Yahweh will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together, and they came to the place which Yahweh had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him up on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. An angel of the Lord called unto him out of the heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham, here am I. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything upon him. For now I know that thou fearest Yahweh, seeing that thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, from thee. Right, so the Lord, he tested Abraham, right, because he was going to sacrifice Isaac, and we know that Yahweh Shai, right, in the reincarnation he was Isaac, but when he was Yahweh Shai, right, he was made a sacrifice for the nation of Israel, man, right, being hung on the cross, after healing people. Right, he knew that he was going to be the ultimate sacrifice. That's why when the Lord was on, when that before, like the night before, or after, like basically the night of the Passover, right? He was sweating blood, right? He was saying, he was saying to the Lord that, basically, he wanted this thing to pass. Like he didn't want to. He knew he was gonna be sacrificed, but he knew that, he wanted the Lord to try to put a stop to it, man. And the Lord never answered Yahweh Shai, man. So he knew that he was gonna be he was about to be the sacrifice. Isaiah 45. Says Isaiah 45:7, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do these things. So everything what's going on in the earth is all orchestrated by the Heavenly Father and Yahweh Shai, man. It's real. Let's get Ephesians. Very good scriptures. Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. Put ye on the whole armor Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principality, against powers, against spiritual wickedness in high places, right? Like principalities, demons. There's summoning spirits. The Arab, they call it the jinn. Right? Principalities. It says principal. Let's play this.
Strong's G 746. Arche. Arche.
Okay, so beginning, origin, the person or thing that comments the first person or the thing in a series, leader, that by which anything begins to be. The origin, it says the extremity of a thing, of the corners of the sail, the first place, principle, the ruler, magistrate, angels and demons. Right? So so that demonic stuff is real. You have angels on the right side and angels on the left. Right? But like this whole world is based on witchcraft, man. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, right? So the word is Yahweh Shai. When you read about in John, that he's the word, right? The capital WORD, the word is Yahweh Shai. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that you may be able to stand against the wall, that you be able to withstand in the evil day, and have done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness. So this is what we got to strive for. Staying in the word, staying in the precepts, the commandments. That the Lord, that He protect us, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Right? Because that's what Satan's gonna do. Satan's gonna tempt you. These people in the world are gonna try to tempt you. Right? So you have to always stay in the word. Right? Because like we're in the flesh, we're gonna make mistakes. But it says that a righteous man falls 7 times, but he gave up. So you want to get up. So this is pretty much it. This is the little Tony and his testimony. So with that, let's y'all pray to do to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahshai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash, the Barnes Pass of Great Millstone, peace and blessings to elect Shalom.
Even before you were fully submitted to Christ, and now looking back on it, it's crazy how like the devil will overplay his hand, and then you like literally, this guy's like, we do demonic rituals and it's like normal, and you're like, what? That's crazy. And now you're serving the Lord, and you're just like, dude, these guys, I think there's a big encouragement there just to let, like, our battle's not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, and I really believe the devil's overplaying his hand now. And
he definitely is. He definitely is. That's basically what I was saying, though. I just want to give my testimony. The reason I'm telling this story is because it comes from me. Like, where I'm from, I ain't gonna say necessarily believe in the devil, but we don't really pay attention to the devil. Like, it's not big. We trying to get some money and stay out of the way. That's it. Get some money, get fly, stay out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For me to actually see that in my face, that's what made me know that the devil and God was real. But that's what made me start to understand what is the real God. Since the devil real, what is the real God? I was done it 2 years ago, but that was like a year and a half. But within this year and a half, that's what's been getting me closer to God. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you saw the darkness.
I seen it,
and now you're in the light with Jesus.
This is why I have to use my influence for good, like how you doing, because the only thing that's important is winning souls.